You've heard about why things are costing more. So much of our products sitting at ports waiting to be transported without the workers to make it happen. A harsh reality of the stuff that just sits there.
We import billions of dollars worth of agricultural goods into this country every year, and some of those come in with bugs.
Bugs. Mark Vanderwerp with Rose Pest Solutions in Troy says when food products like flour, rice, beans, and spices just sit there, insects thrive.
Your enemy is time. So if you buy something and you let it sit for months and months and months, if there is anything alive in there, it will hatch and it will have time to complete its life cycle, mate, have kids if there's a couple of them in there. And so suddenly, what looked like a clean bag of flour, if you give it a few months, may in fact have a bunch of beetles in it.
And that may affect the price. The more they have to throw out, the less product on shelves, and the more you shell out.
If you get badly infested product, then it may have to be discarded. So I suspect this will lead to more food being discarded.
But keep in mind, a certain amount of bugs in food, yeah, it's actually normal.
There are rules. Some bug pieces are allowed in our food, as much as your listeners will love hearing this. We do all eat some insects, intentionally or not.
So, what kind of creepy crawlers are we talking about? The names may sound cute, they're anything but.
Things like confused flower beetles. That's a fun one. We have cigarette beetles, named because they were first found infesting tobacco. Drugstore beetles, because they can be pests of spices and get into drugstores. The Indian meal moth, which would be probably more appropriately these days called the cornmeal moth, because it was first found infesting cornmeal.
So while the supply chain backup is still an issue, it's affecting more than just retail and electronics. It affects your grocery store runs. But keep in mind, there are things you can do at home. First, check the expiration date on anything you buy. Then, check what kind of container it comes in.
A lot of times the bags that things come in, pet food is another high offender in this category. But anything that's in kind of a papery, cardboard type container typically is not insect proof. So you would want to, if you're going to plan on storing this for a long period of time at home, transfer it to an airtight, hard plastic or metal container.
All right, we apologize. I know you're eating dinner at this hour, many of you, but the bottom line is this. I mean, these insects, you don't think about it, but all those crates just sitting there at these ports, Amy, they're sitting there and boom, if they sit for too long, you have that issue that comes up. You got to throw some stuff out. Now, by the time this stuff gets to your house, if you really want to kind of prevent this from happening, cold and dry places, that's the best way to store your stuff.
Y'all, I never thought I would tell you this way better than the media and how to store this stuff. But listen, it is not complicated. What I do, and I have never had a problem with things hatching. When you get your flour and you bring it home, what you really need to do is put it in a Ziploc bag. Take it after you have it in a Ziploc bag, put it in your deep freezer or your freezer for about a week. Once you take it out, anything that's in there that could potentially hatch will be dead. And I have done this for many years and I have not had anything hatching. So if you get anything like flour or if you buy pancake mix and anything where, that have like a floury texture and it's something that you're not going to get to right away, definitely put it in a Ziploc bag, then put it in your freezer. Okay, so sorry about that. So the freezer will kill anything in there. Any of those beetles or eggs or anything, they are not going to be able to withstand that deep cold freezing that it has to endure when you have it in there. So, but what they're raising is a very good point, though. I won't deny that. Those containers have been sitting there, what, about 8, 9 months? Many of them unmoved and they got food. Do you know how much have to be discarded down at these ports now because they have sat for too long? A lot of that stuff is not even going to be fit to transport to a supermarket or a store or anything, or even even a convenience store. A lot of that stuff is going to have to be thrown out. I bet you them bugs are down there having a ball in these ports, because they get a lot of stuff from China. A lot of these things are imported from China. I remember years ago I went to the supermarket, and I was looking at different apple juice, and I was talking to one of the people that worked in the supermarket. I actually knew her, and she was telling me all of the apple juice they had in the supermarket, all of it, didn't matter what label it had on it, it all came from China. None of it was made in the US. None of it. Okay. So you can best believe many of those containers are probably badly infested by now. Mm-mm-mm. So, as you heard, we import billions of dollars worth of agriculture goods into the US, which is very true. And there's a lot of fruit, vegetables, a lot of things are imported here. So, it's no telling how badly infested many of these products are by now. And all they're going to do at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, is raise the prices and make the consumer pay for whatever they lost. That's usually what they do. So if they're going to lose money on certain items, then those items will cost more, and you can understand why they are now saying the inflation will go on well through 2022, which makes perfectly good sense when things are not moving. So, y'all, please tell me what you think. But I just got a feeling some of these things that are sitting in metal containers all this time are not going to be very good by the time they decide to get around to it. 9 months, 9, 10 months of it sitting there. Wow. Mm-mm-mm. It's going to be a lot of things lost. But, y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.